Welcome back to the Global Ledger. I'm Justin. In this episode, we're going one layer deeper into the institutional structure that keeps the entire financial system from tearing itself apart in calm times and in crises. Today's topic is one of the most misunderstood, yet most essential institutions in the global dollar system. It's clearinghouses. The invisible stability layer, I like to call it, that stands between trillions of dollars in obligations every single day. If sovereign wealth funds are slow-moving, long-term stabilizers, clearinghouses are the instantaneous stabilizers, the ones who keep everything settling. By the end of the episode, we'll understand what clearinghouses actually do. Why settlement is the difference between order and chaos, and why central banks rely on them. Let's get into it. What is a clearinghouse? By definition, a clearinghouse is the institution responsible for ensuring that financial transactions, this includes trades, payments, derivatives, securities, actually are completed. In one sentence, clearinghouses turn promises into actual payments. Every trade contains two critical steps. Number one, clearing. This is verifying and matching obligations. Number two is settlement. This is the final transfer of money and securities. Without clearinghouses, markets would be unstable. They would be bilateral and exposed to the risk that your counterparty simply fails. Clearinghouses reduce that entire risk to near zero. They are the institutional embodiment of trust in modern finance. So they exist because historically, banking existed on bilateral promises. I'll pay you tomorrow, basically. But this structure is fragile. And so in markets collapse when promises fail to clear. The system needs a way to absorb, net, and finalize obligations among many participants at once. That's the role of clearinghouses. They net multilateral obligations. They guarantee completion. They mutualize counterparty risk. They enforce margin, and they monitor exposures in real time. So fundamentally, this is about balancing sheets. And clearinghouses exist to ensure those sheets balance. All day, every day, and really without fail. The clearinghouse guarantee is critical, and this is the core service, really. A clearinghouse becomes the buyer to every seller and the seller to every buyer. This eliminates counterparty risk between two trading partners. Instead, every participant faces the clearinghouse. This means if your counterparty defaults, the clearinghouse still pays you. If liquidity dries up, obligations still settle. If exposures surge, the clearinghouse demands margin. So this guarantee is why clearinghouses are considered part of the financial stability apparatus. And as the Fed explained in their article, or their very long paper, it's like a 125-page paper in there, but there's some core stuff in there that's fairly important. But in regards to clearinghouses, they put it as promoting payment and settlement system stability, and that is one of the Fed's 5 core functions. So the Fed must ensure clearing systems operate safely, because the payment system is the bloodstream, really, of the economy. So when we look at clearinghouses, say, in a structure, a pyramid, a hierarchy, it climbs from currency, bank deposits, bank liabilities, dealer money, financial claims. Clearinghouses sit at the intersection of dealer and payment layers. They ensure that the dealer trades settle, securities change ownership, cash moves, collateral is updated, and funding markets clear. So when everything else is, say, chaotic, clearinghouses enforce the rules of the game. They are the infrastructure that embodies par. So without them, this par would break, and when par breaks, well, crises can explode. So let's talk about margin, collateral, and risk control. Clearinghouses operate on strict rules. Initial margin, variation margin, daily marking to market, default funds, stress testing. So this system ensures that losses are contained, not transmitted. It's not optional, it's enforced. So you could call this risk buffering in finance. This is kind of the way we prevent crises from cascading through balance sheets. So why do clearinghouses matter globally? CHIPS, CLS, CCPs. So modern finance depends on clearing systems. CHIPS for large value dollar payments. Fedwire is really for final settlement. CLS for FX settlement. DTCC for U.S. securities. LCH and CME clearing for derivatives. The FICC for repo and treasury trades. So when the Fed supervises the payment system, it's supervising the integrity of clearance and settlement. This is the foundation that keeps markets from unraveling. So what about clearinghouses in a crisis? So when markets panic, dealers stop taking positions. You'll see spreads widen, repo haircuts start to rise, and liquidity starts to evaporate. And that's kind of the next indicator. But clearinghouses do not stop. That's the difference. They force daily settlement of losses. This has two really underappreciated effects. It prevents systemic buildup of hidden risk. And number two, it forces liquidation early rather than late. This is why clearinghouses are both stabilizing and sometimes painful. They are the immune system, really. So how do clearinghouses connect up with the Federal Reserve? The Fed oversees, supports, and sometimes backstops clearinghouses. And why? Because as the Fed emphasized, you'll see this in their paper. The Fed is responsible for fostering payment and settlement system safety and efficiency. Number one. Number two, promoting financial stability. And number three, minimizing systemic risks. Clearinghouses are the front line of that responsibility. So in a crisis, the Fed's discount window, liquidity facilities, and repo operations feed the clearing system so it never fails. Think of it like this. The Fed is the settlement of last resort, but clearinghouses are the settlement of first resort. So, thank you for listening to episode 27 of The Global Ledger. We looked at clearinghouses, and we could consider them the quiet institutions that are holding markets together. In the next episode, we're moving to a topic that ties directly into clearing. We're going to go into Basel. We're going to go to capital rules and why banks are constrained long before they run out of money. Once again, I'm Justin, and thanks for being here.